The notification awakes you at 3 a.m. Not an emergency, not a loved one, a comment, a view count, a fluctuation in the invisible scoreboard that determines whether you eat next month. And you respond, because the algorithm never sleeps, because the audience is always hungry, because your body has become a content production facility, and your mind has become a performance analytics dashboard. And somewhere in the blur between creation and survival, you forgot what it felt like to be off. Welcome to the Psyche of Wealth. We're not here to tell you to quit. We're here to understand why the creator economy promised freedom and delivered a more sophisticated cage. Why being online for money is different from any other work humans have done, and what happens to the psychology of a species when visibility becomes the primary currency of survival. The camera light is always warm, even when the room is cold, even when you are cold. The red dot means recording, means income, means the continuation of the life you have built. The red dot means you are working. The red dot means you are visible. The red dot means you exist in the economy. And when the red dot is off, something else happens. The anxiety of invisibility, the fear of irrelevance, the suspicion that you are disappearing from the feeds and the minds and the wallets that sustain you. This is not traditional labor. The factory worker clocked out. The office employee left the building. The creator never leaves. The factory is the phone in the pocket. The office is the mind always composing. The commute is the constant scroll through performance metrics. There is no boundary because the product is the self, and the self does not clock out. The psychology is unique. Previous generations sold their time, their skill, their physical output. The creator sells their personality, their vulnerability, their ongoing life as narrative. The distinction between work and self dissolves. Success requires authenticity. Authenticity requires exposure. Exposure requires the continuous production of self as content. And the self becomes exhausted, becomes performed, becomes indistinguishable from the product. Consider the metrics: views, engagement, conversion, retention. These numbers are not abstract. They represent food, rent, medical care, the basic requirements of biological survival translated into digital performance indicators. The brain that evolved to track social standing in small groups now navigates global algorithmic evaluation. The mismatch is profound. The stress is constant, and the result is burnout that looks like success. The creator economy promised democratization. Anyone with talent could find audience. Anyone with audience could monetize. The gatekeepers would fall. The middlemen would disappear. And something like this happened. But the new structure brought new dependencies. Platform algorithms that change without warning. Audience attention that fragments across infinite competition. The constant need to adapt to formats, trends, visibility rules that are opaque and shifting. The wealthy creator is not secure. The income that arrives in bursts of viral success disappears in algorithm adjustments. The audience that built your career can migrate to new personalities. The platform that hosts your entire archive can change terms or disappear. The security is illusory, the hustle is permanent, and the psychological cost is the constant sense that you are one mistake, one trend miss, one format failure to collapse. This is why creator burnout is not laziness. It is the rational response to irrational conditions. The nervous system cannot sustain permanent visibility. The self cannot sustain permanent performance. The body cannot sustain the schedule that algorithmic optimization demands. And yet, the alternative is the disappearance that feels like death, the income drop that threatens survival, the return to invisibility that the brain experiences as social exclusion. The psychology of being online for money is the psychology of the self as commodity, the transformation of identity into product, the continuous market evaluation of personality. This is not inherently harmful. Artists have always performed. Public figures have always managed visibility. But the scale is different. The speed is different. The feedback loop is immediate and quantitative and relentless. The creator knows within hours whether the self they presented was valuable and adjusts and presents again. The result is a particular kind of dissociation, the person who feels most real when performing, who loses sense of self when alone, who cannot distinguish genuine desire from content opportunity, who experiences life as raw material for future production. The vacation becomes B-roll, the relationship becomes narrative, the crisis becomes engagement. Everything is potential content because content is survival. Consider the specific pathologies, the inability to be present without documenting, the anxiety when away from metrics, the compulsive checking that resembles addiction, the depression when performance drops, the mania when it spikes, the flattening of emotional range to the performable affects, the loss of private self to the public persona. These are not character flaws, they are occupational hazards of a job that never ends. The comparison trap is particularly brutal. The creator sees peers with larger audiences, with better brand deals, with more stable income, with teams to handle the production burden, and measures their own struggle against these curated surfaces, not seeing the similar anxiety, the similar precarity, the similar 3 a.m. awakenings. The isolation of the work is compounded by the illusion that others are succeeding without the same cost. The platform dependency creates a specific helplessness. The creator builds on land they do not own. The terms of service are unilateral. The algorithm is opaque. The audience relationship is mediated by infrastructure designed to maximize platform profit, not creator well-being. The successful creator is often the one who best internalizes platform incentives, who sacrifices most to the algorithmic demands, who becomes most perfectly adapted to the extractive environment. Consider the historical parallel. The factory worker of the Industrial Revolution also faced new conditions that dissolved boundaries between work and life. The machine determined the pace. The whistle determined the schedule. The wage determined survival. The response was organization, regulation, the deliberate construction of limits. The creator economy has not yet developed these protections. The individual creator is left to build their own boundaries or be consumed. The wealth hack is not to stop creating, it is to build boundaries where boundaries seem impossible, to create systems that generate income without continuous presence, to diversify across platforms so no single algorithm controls survival, to build audience relationships that persist through absence, to cultivate skills that transfer if platforms collapse, to save during peaks to survive valleys, to treat the psychology as seriously as the content strategy. This requires recognizing that the creator economy is extractive by design. Platforms need continuous engagement. Audiences need continuous novelty. The system rewards those who sacrifice most, who give most, who expose most, and punishes those who rest, who pause, who protect themselves. The individual creator must build their own protections because the system will not provide them. Consider the strategy of batch creation, the scheduled release, the automated posting, the community management that does not require personal presence. These are attempts to restore the boundary between work and self, to create the equivalent of clocking out. They are imperfect. The audience wants the person, not the product, but they are necessary for survival. Or consider the diversification of identity, the cultivation of self outside creation, the relationships that are not content, the experiences that are not documented, the thoughts that are not shared. This is the resistance, the preservation of private self against the totalizing demand of public performance. It is difficult because it feels like lost opportunity, because the algorithm rewards presence, because the audience punishes absence. But it is essential because without it, the self disappears into the performance. The financial strategy must match the psychological reality. The creator income is volatile. It arrives in unpredictable bursts. It requires budgeting that assumes drought. It requires the building of emergency reserves that can sustain through algorithm changes, or health crises, or necessary rest. The creator who spends at the peak is vulnerable to the valley. The creator who builds systems for passive income, for recurring revenue, for audience independence from any single platform is building genuine wealth.
Consider the specific tools: the email list that platform algorithms cannot reach, the membership community that provides stable, recurring income, the digital products that sell without active promotion, the licensing that generates revenue from past work. These are the creator equivalent of diversified investment. They reduce dependence on continuous performance. They create space for the self to recover. The psychology of being online for money will evolve. New platforms will emerge. New forms of creation will develop. New pathologies will appear. The fundamental tension will remain: the self as a commodity, the visibility as survival, the metrics as meaning. The creator who thrives will be the one who understands this psychology, who builds systems to manage it, who treats their own mind as seriously as their content strategy. This is the work we are doing here, not to tell you to quit, to help you continue with awareness.
To build wealth that includes psychological sustainability, to create success that does not consume the creator. This is possible. It requires intention. It requires system. It requires the willingness to sacrifice some performance for some peace. The algorithm will not reward this, but you will survive it. If this resonated, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want to go deeper into the psychology of creation, of visibility, of what wealth means when the self is the product, subscribe to Psyche of Wealth. We'll explore why your brain treats metrics as survival and how to build systems that work with that psychology instead of against it. Not because you'll stop being online, but because you'll start being offline enough to remember who you are when the camera is not watching. And that memory, it turns out, is the only wealth that outlasts any platform. See you in the next one.